everyone. Welcome to Steam Next Fest. Well, technically day 1 of Steam Next Fest, but I started streaming demos yesterday, so day 2 of Steam Next Fest. But I think today's the official day 1 of Steam Next Fest, and our official first demo will be this game. Hello Satina, how are you doing? I'm not too bad, thank you. Started a bit late because I had received a gift sub on Twitch to someone else like 2 minutes before the stream started, so I had to go there and give them some thank yous. Anyway, now we're ready to go. So this game is called Nighthawks. You're playing through the demo encompasses night 1 of this game, I guess. This game is a Vampire the Masquerade themed adventure game, like point-and-click adventure game, I think. It is published by Watched Eye Games, and that company is a company that studio is a studio I like. They've made other games like Techno Babylon and Gemini Rue. I've played Techno Babylon and I've played part of Gemini Rue. But this game isn't specifically developed by them. But I think like the director of the studio is from Watched Eye Games, so they're publishing it. Thank you, Jared. Thank you for the celebration. I appreciate it. Anyway, yeah, this game was I kickstarted this game like 7 years ago, and it's now coming onto Steam as a Steam Next Fest demo, I guess. So we'll see how well it goes. It better be good after 7 years, right? But no, it's been quite a while in development, so. So let's jump right into it. 6 months ago you died. Oh, okay, well, we're gonna find the next demo now. I'm gonna stop my recording of my stream. Oh, it continues. The story of a life is yours to celebrate, mourn, or forget. Am I supposed to press a button to... No, I think it does continue on its own, but very slowly. This is the story of your death. It was faster that time. What is your name? This may not have been your name in life, but it is the name that you now wear. All else is your business, casting as much or as little light on your path as you choose. Night Bank, I am broke, and my name is Taiki. They seem to want the last name as well, but I'm going to try it without. Well, they suggest the last name anyway. A name for the world to remember, no doubt. Yep, for sure. See, Satinal, you say that, right? At least it exists after 7 years, but back during the end of the Kickstarter, the prologue and chapter 1 were already available for people who subscribe to a certain tier to like play through it as an alpha. And now this Steam Next Fest demo is again the prologue and chapter 1. I assume it's been polished a lot, and the rest of the story is probably pretty well fleshed out. But I don't know for real. I don't know for sure. Everything began with a stranger. They took you into their life and then took yours. Their blood now runs through your veins and you carry their memory in your flesh. But who are they? So apparently your companion, apparently you have a companion of sorts, and the card you pick here, if I read, influences the companion you'll get. But I don't actually know how it changes. Wisdom of Sanctuaries, Passion and Torture, Love and Depravity, immune to the effects of tainted blood. Iron Soul forged into a blade, you can wield any weapon like an expert. The Hedonist, that's Ja. This is like they kind of correspond to Vampire the Masquerade families as well, right? Although I don't know which is which very well. A wolf among sheep. The privilege of wealth and power sharpened to the finest point. You develop suspicion at a greatly reduced rate. A drifter, a rumor, they move from town to town, fading like a bad memory. Your hunting skills are unmatched. The scholar. Raja seems to want a hedonist, so let's go with hedonist. You are immune to the effects of tainted blood, which will otherwise greatly limit you until it wears off. Seem to be missing a punctuation mark at the end here, but that's okay. Actually, none of them are punctuation marks, so never mind. I am the heir of the hedonist. Is that how you pronounce it, hedonist? So your new lineage is one of pain and potential stretching back centuries, from the darkest legends of every corner of the world where people have had cause to fear the night. What is its story? Close enough, yeah? Hedonist, hedonist. Hedonist. An echo of tragedy from the... Wait, which one am I picking? Hedonist? Yeah. Children of the night who see their past in modern fables and Hollywood lore, you gain more benefit from your companion skills. But don't my skills just make me immune? Well, I guess this is skills, not trait. An echo of tragedy from the dark forest, blah blah, there are few you cannot intimidate. Hailing from the alchemical heritage of Britain, you gain wealth and prestige at a greatly increased rate. From the eternal dynasties of Europe to the solitary loners of quiet peasant hamlets, you are an expert at seduction and manipulation. Magic flows in your veins. Supposedly the legacy of Jiangshi sorcery from ancient China. It's funny because so in the last 2 to 3 days, I've been looking through like the last week or so of Steam demos, and I've seen Jiangshi games, like 5 of them at least, mention these things. And these things are they're the Chinese vampires that hop around and have the talisman on their head, on their forehead. Those are Jiangshis. I've seen no less than 5 different games mention it in some way or another. Yes, hopping vampires, that's right. Anyway, let's do this. My blood is from Mandarin heritage in real life. So your natural talent allows you to use your gift more regularly. Everybody knows that vampiric powers are a myth, propaganda, fantasy. Everybody is wrong, as you learn shortly after your awakening. But what new power waited on the edge of possibility? You wield the puppet strings of hypnosis and domination. Weaker minds are yours to command to a point. They often soon wears off, and they balk at actions too contrary. Mesmerism. Dead men tell no tales, that depends how you ask. Witness echoes of trauma and recently deceased. Corpse stalking. They do sound fun, yeah. So this is an adventure game, so I'm curious to see how they tie all this in. I mean, at its core, adventure games are like storytelling games, right? But you'll probably get different ways of solving puzzles and mysteries based on what you do here, based on what you choose. But apparently there's a battle system as well, and I'm not sure how that works. Chance to automatically turn the tide of losing battles. Rats, cockroaches, spiders, flies. You can you can order them around, and you can see through your minion's eyes, but not cats because they keep their own counsel. Tenebrain form, shadows are your cloak. Light is the natural enemy. I'm gonna try corpse stalking. Sure. Life and death taught you many things, but what is your primary sphere of knowledge? Yes, I will also choose but just in general as well, I like the idea of being able to talk with people that have departed, recently departed. Like if I wanted a superpower out of those 5, I would take corpse stalking anyway. You are well versed in all the arts, from painted masterpieces to classic opera. From scientific discoveries to fixing computers. Hello, Mr. Skeleton. There's little in the modern world you cannot master, at least turn off and on again until it works. You always excel in scholarly pursuits. Learn the languages of the gutter. What others consider forbidden arts you think of as light reading? What do y'all think? Choose one. Satinel or Jahanda? Choose one. It doesn't really make a difference to me, and I've been picking all the others so far. I don't know what it gives. That's the point. Because I don't know what it gives. I'm guessing that it gives yeah, occult might be more interesting. Yeah, I'm guessing it gives you flavor to your. I'm guessing it gives you like, you know how some games have knowledge, occult knowledge technology, and the things you can say to people and the ways you can connect to them depend on how much knowledge you have. You gave me like 3 different ones. This isn't Sif though. Okay, so now I have 4 different ones. Don't make me pick Academia just because it's the one that's not picked. You know, I wish I had a die roll function in my bot. I could probably program that in. Culture of street. Well, culture has 2 votes, so let's go culture then. Very well. These are the cards that fate has dealt you. Do you accept them? Change sire origin, give knowledge. Yeah, so this is knowledge. This is who I am in the dark. And let us begin. Who are you in the light? I am a plushie. I'm a plushie sitting beside the streamer right now. Prologue, the second life. I also read that after the first time you play through this prologue, on subsequent playthroughs, if you choose to do subsequent playthroughs, you can skip the prologue. So I'm guessing that the prologue is always the same for all characters, and it doesn't start to branch out until you finish it. Last known address, another night, the same thirst. Before we start, can I... There's a voice delay. What does this mean? Oh, they're delaying it so that in case people want to voice it. Not actually, there's no actual voice, right? Oh, there is. There's audio dialogue. Okay, anyway. Another night, the same thirst. Rain pours down onto the naked city, as cold and oppressive as ever. And oppressive as ever. The night is no longer quiet and never still. Not since the veil fell, when the world learned that there were monsters living amongst them. Monsters like you, no longer protected by the shadows. Cops talking hoity-toity culture, Mandarin hedonics by night. Exactly. Oh, so the world already knows that vampires and stuff exist. It's not like World of Darkness, Vampire the Masquerade, where you're still, where the sheep are still living under a guise of innocence. No answer, not a surprise. While you hardly share your sire's anger towards Morrow for vanishing into the night, he has reason to be afraid. Traitors who lack the sense to look over their shoulder only have themselves to blame. Hey, down here, need help? I'm your stone cold pal. Oh, you disappeared too quickly. But you're a tutorial guy, gotcha. Full of stuff you might want to know, maybe even a way of going back in time. Congratulations, Psyche. You found your way to a beautiful city, where vampires and humans are forging a new union under both sun and stars. Sure. Just going through this real quick to see if there's anything of note here. What was the town's name? Not this one. Utqiagvik. I don't think that's the name of this town though. That's the name of a town in Alaska. Nightbook is the name of... Oh, this... Yeah, Utqiagvik is quite a town name. I'm not sure what the name of this town is though. I don't know if they've actually said that yet. just going through real quick to make sure that I guess it's Cradle Bridge. Whatever was the one, yeah. Oh, these are auto saves, okay. These are my stats. Okay. Okay. Well, intimidation, thief. Thief is slightly higher. Time to pick the lock. The door easily gives way. Beyond the doorway, the apartment is empty. The fact that you can cross the threshold without an invitation is proof that nobody currently calls it home. Oh. Step into the old apartment. Morrow's apartment is a temple to filth and decay. The foul smell of standing water hangs in the air, seeping out from a small bathroom towards a tiny bed and its bare mattress. Every mirror is broken, as is most of the furniture. Rain beats against the cracked windows. You close the door behind you, not bothering the primitive lock. This is the last lead you have to Morrow's location, and the reason for your pursuit. Yeah, where's the cops to talk to, yeah? Lock it with a broken clasp. So this is the last lead and the reason for your pursuit. Oh, so this is kind of a backstory thing. Like, which item do I have that led me here? Lock it with a broken clasp. It was not worth much, but it was yours. Why he took it, you do not know. An accident? A moment of cruelty? The order of your sire looking to remove any troublesome ties? That is something he can answer when you find him. It was the last remaining piece of your old life. Last reminder of sunlight and a heart that still beat. It is, however, not here. The only real hope is that Morrow left in a hurry and didn't cover his tracks as well as he might have done. There is only one way to know for sure. Consider you have not found enough evidence yet. Search for clues around the desk. The desk is small and cramped, with a chair that wobbles uncertainly at the slightest touch. On it, a barely started letter reads simply, "Cynthia, please," and then trails off. Garbage bin next to it is full of equally aborted traps. The middle drawer is empty except for a few spare bits of paper, some pens and pencils, and a small spider that scuttles away in terror at the sudden light. There is a lot of gum, rest. Open the bottom drawer. There's nothing in it though, except for some wax in the side seal. The mark that I guess maybe it's the gap of the drawer that was filled with gum. The mark that told those in the know that Morrow was authorized to speak on their behalf. A somewhat indicated sign of confidence, but not an uncommon one. Older vampires do tend to enjoy ceremony. You pull at the drawer, the top drawer, but unsurprisingly, it is indeed locked tight. Someone's even fixed the handle. You grip the handle tight and pull. It offers little resistance. Inside the drawer, you see a small leather-bound book, Morrow's diary. It begins in his usual copperplate handwriting, but by the end has devolved into barely coherent scrawling. You flick through the rest of the diary. The last entry is dated over a week ago. I'm free, finally free. But I still feel it inside me. I have to cut it out, bleed it out. I won't go back. I won't lose myself again. Okay. You are never told exactly why Morrow came to the city, the first of its kind in the world. A place where vampires can live openly and build themselves a new life. Before you parted ways with the heathenists, they showed no interest in the new world beyond the veil. All that you remember is how angry they were when Morrow disappeared. Lifelong bonds of blood broken. Search for clues around the bed. The bed is a bare mattress atop a cracked wooden frame. There's a single pillow and a few unwashed bits of clothing that apparently served Morrow as a blanket while he was here. A coat, a pair of pants, an old pizza box lies next to them. An irritated rat squeals, angry to have been stirred from his impromptu bed amongst the crusted strands of mozzarella. I don't have this skill, of course. Let's drop it in a hurry. The rat scampers off. For a moment it seems to give you a poisonous expression that one night he will have his revenge. But tonight is not that night. Impromptu bit of mozzarella. Think of the shower that you have to have, the long shower that you have to have afterwards. Aside from the dust, the only thing under the bed is a small shoebox. Inside a pair of syringes, a spoon, a rubber tourniquet, and some needles. They look blunt, heavily reused. You were not aware Mara had a heroin addiction. Search through the clothes. Pockets all appear to be empty until you get to a pair of old black slacks. Inside is a wallet, empty except for a few nickels, an organ donor card, and a long-expired driving license. Laya Morrow, your sire's vassal, working in the sun so that they could rule the night. The traitor. At least now you have a photograph to show people, instead of trying to describe a man with few distinguishing features except for the neck scars. That's true, I should take the nickels. I'll no longer be broke. Apparently, I'm not into thievery though. Step away from the damn bed. Search the bathroom. Bare splintered wood underfoot. Cheap ceramic bath with barely enough room for an average-sized person to sit in. The hot water is disconnected. The state of the toilet in the corner is best left unmentioned. Never mind actively investigated. I have sufficient blood to use. Oh, so blood is a resource that I need to use my gift. Perhaps Morrow hid something in the cistern, but we just said not to investigate it. Open the medicine cabinet. Mostly empty. Cheap off-brand aspirin. Iron supplements. Underneath that is a small metal key. There seems little point picking it up now. Good. Good job. Good job to the game for recognizing that. Morrow did not, in fact, hide anything in the cistern. Nor did he flush before he departed. Sure. He lowered the toilet lid and closed the cistern, departing on a very, very slight moral high ground. This really does not matter much in the great scheme of anything. The yellowing bath is cramped and heavily stained in reddish-brown blood. If a vampire knows anything by sight, it's blood. The stain is old now and has worked itself in deep. Let's see how much the blood goes down by. Quite a bit, like half of it. An image briefly flickers behind your mind. A naked man huddled in a bathtub, the light off. His skin is a mesh of scars and fresh cuts. He has a razor blade in his hand, blunt from overuse. He gasps as he drags it over his legs, just enough to let more blood ooze away. Red but darker than usual, an oily swirl that seals the artery before too much can escape. Spooky ghost. His desperation. The face of the echo was impossible to make out, but you are relatively sure that you remember the shape of it. Morrow, definitely Morrow, bleeding himself dry for some horrible reason. Consider the evidence. This was definitely where Morrow ended up after shirking his mission in this miserable city and severing all contact with the hedonist. While here, he tried to bleed himself dry of his master's blood, his influence. Does that work? Vampiric vessels are typically too subordinate to their lords to even try. But the same is not true of the heirs. The business in this city is not to recover Morrow. Ancient instincts prickle, you are not alone. Behind you, a breath of defiant fear, defying not just your presence, but the ever-crawling urge to get away from it as quickly as possible. You turn, hands raised in readiness.
What do you think you're doing in here? We're sick of you damn cold-bloods acting like you own the place! Dead is dead!
Suddenly voiced. Threaten her into dropping the gun. Talk her into lowering the gun. You smile your best smile at the old woman, promising her that the last thing you will do is hurt anyone, that you are merely here in search of an old friend just leaving anyway. She lowers the gun uncertainly, just a little. It is all the time you need to step forward and tear it off her hands, throwing it into a corner. I thought the voice was okay. And she is kind of like... What's the... I don't know how you would describe the voice, but I could see the voice coming from this woman. The warmth of her blood calls out to you. How long has it been since you last fed? Too long. Too many hungry nights, struggling with your thirst and the need to keep a low profile. But now it's close enough that you can almost smell it. Hear it. Pumping and pounding in the chest. Heart alive, pure. Every instinct whispers to you to take it all. Then nobody will ever know. Nobody will care. She doesn't look like she has hasty blood, but I think I am pretty hungry right now. All I can see is mozzarella cheese. Because this is a demo, we're going to try the answer that most people will not take. We're going to drain her dry. The old woman presses back in terror, whispering to a god who isn't listening. You grip her by her hair and sink your fangs deep into her neck. Blood surges up into your mouth, the only thing that even temporarily relieves the burning thirst that hangs around you with the familiarity of an old friend and a suffocating hug of a nose. So there are traits in this game. Traits? Where would I even find the traits? Here. Consensualist. Not anymore. You have never drunk blood from another without permission, at least since your arrival in the city. And for some reason there are traits to increase your skills. This seems a bit lacking, like there should be more here. Maybe it's an introduction kind of thing. Put the body onto the bed, sure, at least I'll do that. You carefully rest her body on the bed and brush your hands off your clothes, on your clothes. A little lingering blood, nothing unusual. Not even something that most people would notice these nights. Also, I did gain blood here, but not a lot. I still feel like it's less than half here, right? It's like less than what I started with, but only slightly. She didn't have a lot of blood. You step back out onto the streets of Crater Bridge, the dead market district of a dying city, the perfect place to stash those vampires unable to claw their way up from the gutter. A place where vampires can gain amnesty for any and all past crimes in exchange for a pinky promise to keep their instincts in check henceforth. Home, at least until the business here is concluded. If only vampires still have nothing to fear at night. Two figures in leather watch from the depths of an alleyway. They see you walking alone. They see that even in the cold of night, your breath leaves no clouds. Pass, trying to avoid eye contact. Has been many days since you fed properly. The old woman's weak blood barely can scratch the surface of your thirst. The pair recognize your weakness even at a distance. Their steps match yours as they put on their masks. Cheap, featureless party masks, sprayed white. Originally a socked and anonymity. Now, a symbol of defiance against vampires sharing the streets, but still living. Trouble. Sure. Turn. For just a moment, Paris takes a step backwards. The moment doesn't last. You can sense anticipation as they produce their weapons and step forwards to do their part in keeping the streets safe. People won't be like that. Your spirit takes the pair by surprise. So like, what happened there? Did we roll some dice? Most vampires around here are starved, evil creatures, unable to put up a fight. Suddenly, what should have been an evening's entertainment has become considerably less enjoyable for them. So I guess I thought this was more of an adventure point-and-click game and less of a visual novel, but it looks like this is more of a visual novel and less of the reverse. The masked woman reaches her hand into her pocket. Moonlight catches on the edge of a pistol.
Now, play fair, darlings.
A voice from the alley entrance. A swooshing sound cuts through the air. Moonlight glints on a blur of fast-moving metal. What's this? Throwing knife?
2 against 1? Well, that's not very sporting.
Throwing knife hurled with deadly precision. A merciful aim spears the masked woman's hand and sends the gun clattering into the shadows. All eyes turn to the figure standing behind the entrance. Smirking with fanged amusement. I don't see any fangs. And another knife in front. So this looked like a time thing where if I didn't click it fast enough, she wouldn't say this, I guess. Obviously we had a lot of time to do that, but in later scenes there might be things that happen very quickly. The sharpshooter grips a hand tight. He scamper away while listening A white-haired woman sighs, retrieving a throwing knife. He vanishes into thin air with a flick of her wrist. She smiles at you, eyes flicking up and down to check injuries with what seems more professional interest than actual concern.
Come on, darling. Let's get you back
never
home
mind.
while it's still nice and dark.
So this is more along the lines of this is the voice delay. So it's not a QTE reaction thing that I thought it was initially at first. Who are you?
Mystery, questions, aren't they the most delicious things in life? All that matters is that Madame Lux performs magic to astonish the mind every Tuesday and Thursday at the Sleepless Moon. I do hope to see you there.
Thank you for your assistance. But I was gonna feed on them, and now I cannot feed on them. Oh wait, no, that actually pushed.
You're welcome, darling. We modern monsters must stick together.
Hold on, this is wrong, right? So because they have already fled, so this should not again say that they find themselves outmatched and flee. This looks like we get here from another dialogue point instead. If we had taken another path. Because the option I picked was to thank her for her help. So this part makes sense. This part does not. But it's okay, it's only been 7 years, so... Or because you picked the last pick option with the old lady. It's only been 7 years. Give them a little more time and they'll flash out any wrinkles that were here on the original Kickstarter demo version of the game. Welcome, darling. We modern monsters must stick together. You sit down to catch your breath, so to speak. With a few deep breaths, you bring the pain under control. The battle took more out of you than it should have done. You need fresh blood, you need answers. Most of all, you need to get out of this city before it swallows you up. For now, the only path leads back to your sanctuary. Sunrise always arrives sooner than you expect. So that part is the prologue that is skippable once you finish it at least once. The Halcyon Hotel. Another shitty night. The rusted metal of our bed creaks underneath you, its mattress damp and encrusted with ancient patches of blood, sweat, and cement. The last stinging memories of the day's bad dreams fade into the increasingly familiar drip, drip, drip of a waking nightmare lit by a cheap flickering bulb. Reluctantly, you crawl out of bed. Everything aches, everything is cold. Your blood sits stagnant in your veins, no longer at the whim of a beating heart. You pull yourself to your feet and take a moment to lick at your still unfamiliar fangs. Check the mirror. Open the bedroom drawer. The cross atop a Gideon Bible stings in your eyes, burning like chili peppers. Unable to bring yourself to touch it, you shut the drawer tight. The pain slowly fades, till the scorch after image lingers considerably longer. The cross itself stings in my eyes. You wipe the dust from the mirror. No reflection, of course. But the empty frame staring back through you is still discomforting. Perhaps for the moment, however, that is for the best. Peer out the window. You fix the planks back into position and look down at the street below. It is quiet, but not the peaceful, relaxing kind. It is the quiet of a place where everyone minds their own business because they really don't want to get caught up in anyone else's. Wash your face and listen. I do like that they have all these subtitle things for every option that you pick. It's a nice way to add character, even if I'm not reading it out. 8 years ago, the world changed forever. You came to the city in the hopes of finding a place where your new nature would be accepted. Instead, you found little but suspicion, fear, and poverty. But everything changes in time. Outcasts rise. Now you can call yourself immortal. I can just call it the night. Equip items from your wardrobe. Sure. Charity 3 sharp rags. Continue wearing your current outfit. Remove all of your clothes instead. Sure. Close your wardrobe doors. So what happens if I just call it a night? Like does the demo just end? Because we have... Isn't this demo like a one-night demo? Okay, we're gonna do this. So quick save. And just to make sure I know how to load the game. Only the bit is mozzarella, yeah. Well, it's this save, right? Call in a night. You glance down, oh you can't, they won't let you. You glance down on your bed, but you have spent long enough staring up at this cracked ceiling. If opportunities await in this city, they aren't going to be found by sleeping until the rent is due. Leave your sanctuary. As you prepare to leave, someone knocks on your door. The woman from the previous night is standing there, looking at you with a smile. She helped you back here last night, but you were too tired and bruised for any further conversation. She glances up and down your naked body and means, but not apparently concerned.
Ah, it lives. I just thought I'd drop by and see how you're settling in.
Why is she holding a card? Because she really likes Gambit from the X-Men. Who exactly is she again? Ask for advice on the city.
If I was you,
She's
my
cosplaying,
dear little
basically.
sweetmeat, I'd try to get out of this place as soon as possible. Definitely get yourself something to eat. Or someone. I won't tell if you don't.
Child of Rogue and Gambit, yeah, makes sense. Well, she's more like the child of Storm and Gambit. But close enough, yeah, one or the other. Wasn't she the one who recommended this place?
It's not exactly the Ritz, I know, but, well, at least it's cheap. I stayed here a while myself when I first arrived in this charming city. A few nights was quite enough. Still, it keeps that naughty sun off your back,
Can she suggest a place to get food?
Well, I wasn't thinking of a healthy Caesar salad, dear. A city like this is a veritable buffet, and most of us have had to, how to put this, hunt fresh at some point or another.
Yeah, I did that last night.
Nightclubs are perfect,
Well,
or a
she
nice
wasn't
back
fresh.
alley. Somewhere the little puppets are nice and pliable.
I could really use a guide for the night.
Ordinarily, I would have to decline. But, well, I do enjoy bringing a little magic to this miserable little town. Perhaps if you would lend me your assistance, I might lend you mine.
Sure, it helps me narrate
To
less.
adventure, then. Do lead on.
The less I narrate, the better, so... What are these? Mechanic, Grifter, Domination... Oh, these are the additional skills I get. The yellow parts here are the things that she contributes to while she is in my party. Cool. Let's go to it. You glance over at your bed, but Madame Lux raises a pointed eyebrow. She has plans for the night and they do not involve spending all of it lying around. Madame Lux gives you a withering stare. She realizes you are actually planning to walk out of here stark naked and unconcerned. She gestures towards your wardrobe with a pointed flourish.
Darling, I appreciate making an entrance as much as the next woman, but I really will not be upstaged by your apparent love of scandal.
So I can actually part with her by myself. But fine, let's get dressed. The elevator is cramped, rickety, and so thick with competing odors that they almost cancel each other out. A slight mercy. Lobby. Rooms for rent. The Halcyon is a fine old building, now long past its prime. The paint is peeled and every surface sticky. The red droppings trodden into the carpets as slithering cockroaches behind the wallpaper say more of the place's standards than many review. Head over to the front desk. The clerk yawns as you approach, barely even bothering to look up. The smell that hangs around him isn't tobacco. Sneak a look at the resident list? Sure. They crane together to hear the current list of people who have reached sufficient wealth. Call the Halcyon their home. Only to visit it. Most of the names are meaningless. Is this any better? Let me turn my mic up a bit. Is this any better? Most of the names are meaningless to you. But the music did get louder. The old is marked as being on the third floor. There. Yeah, the music did get louder here. So I turned it down like 4 notches. Most of the names are meaningless to you. The one is marked as being on the third floor here, with a prominent V symbol scribbled next to it. Ah, yes, that would be you. Glance down to check that you are still there. It appears that you are. Sophia Sterling is the latest. Wasn't she the person who was in this thing? Where did this come from? Don't know. I'm not sure how to get back to the original but I thought she was the person who was touring the city, touring the country. I don't know what. But I can no longer find where the news article was. I guess I tossed it. What even is this? First line. This must be a placeholder thing. You just forgot to hide it. Sure, looks like one, yeah. Okay, let me save this again. Save. Restart this. Oh no, this is it's a Sophia Karnstein. Different person. I was wondering why a global pop sensation would be in a hotel such as this. But no, it was a different person, so never mind. Now let's test to make sure the loading system works. It works. Okay, so we have 2 names there. For whatever reason, ask about the hotel. The clerk gives you an expression that suggests that of all the words people have used to describe this particular slice of heaven, estimable is not one of them. The Halcyon Hotel certainly had its golden age once, but these times the basic rule is not to complain about the cockroaches because they've been polite enough not to complain about you. Head outside. You step from the damp warmth of the Halcyon to the streets of Cradle Bridge, where light is swallowed by the darkness, and few dare venture without good cause. Old Town is not far, and seems like the best place to begin a search for Mara, but your thirst burns, and you will not be left unsatiated for long. And again, I see what a surprise. Madame Luck suggests for you to follow her. She leads you out into the streets to a pitch not too far from Old Town. She has equipment ready, and it seems clear that you have kindly volunteered to be her assistant, missing a word here, for the evening. When asked for details, she just smiles and says, "Spoilers, darling." Finally, she decides on a good spot to start. The street is a busy one, but few seem to pay much attention to the white-haired magician setting up. She places her hat on the ground and sprinkles in a few coins, then presses play on an ancient tape deck. Like it, the musical taste is stuck in it like
It's such a pleasure to have an assistant who won't press charges. Oh, don't worry, darling. Nothing can possibly go wrong. This time.
This time, she prepares to begin her routine. Madame Lux begins her performance. She has a set of 9 balls in rainbow colors, starting with just 3 but soon turning to a whole spectrum of bright arcs. A small crowd gathers, most of them watching silently. Like, this whole sentence is a bit weird. She has a set of 9 balls in rainbow colors, starting with just 3 but soon turning to a whole spectrum. Like, there's a line missing here, right? Like she juggles them, starting with just 3, but soon turning into a whole spectrum. A few throw the occasional coin into a hat. Not many, however. This is not very surprising. Lux doesn't seem to care all that much. It's one idea delivered 2 ways here. Lux moves to a more dramatic trick. She presents a clear resin ball with a shiny center, a Rubik's Cube comprehensively mixed up. It looks heavy, but she handles it with little difficulty. She juggles it through the air along with a couple of smaller balls before throwing it high into the air and catching it. She presents it to the audience, the sealed puzzle now perfectly solved. That at least earns a plus. She scans the crowd for a volunteer. Lux produces 5 torches, dipping their heads in the paraffin one by one and lighting them with a sweep of her hand. Lit, she hands 2 of them to you and begins juggling the other 3 increasingly dramatic arcs, sometimes with one hand behind her back. I'll wait for her instructions. On Lux's gesture, you throw the first torch into the flaming arc, followed by the second. Lux effortlessly keeps the 5 torches flying, carving out
What's
the knights.
that? You want to see
Streets of
something
yellow flame.
difficult? Darlings, this is difficult. Watch closely. There will not be an encore.
She throws one of her knives high in the air. The crowd murmurs and as the knife plunges down through Madame Lux's lips, caught by the teeth in her confident fang smile as she continues to juggle. Between torches, she gestures until the audience grudgingly starts to applaud. A few coins finally land rattle in her waiting hand. As the crowd fades away, Madame Lux checks her hat. It is an unimpressive haul. The people of Crater Bridge are happy to enjoy a free show, but only until it stops becoming
Well,
being one.
never mind. It's not money that matters, after all. That's what we in the art like to say, if only to try and persuade ourselves.
She glances around looking for stragglers. You can't hear what happened there. You can't hear what Lux whispers into the audience members' ear, but it has an immediate effect. They follow her into the alleyway like a puppet with strings severed and a glassy expression on their face. Lux beckons for you to join her. Sure. Ooh, I feel my blood up to full. You join Lux in the alleyway. She doesn't feed from them and stands with her eyes politely averted while you do. She does, however, ensure that you do not take too much or leave her victim incapable of attending future performances. A good artist never kills the audience if they can avoid it. Help Lux prop the body up against the wall. When business concluded, Lux casually packs away her knives and other equipment. The show is over, but the night is just beginning. You know very few people in this city, and a friendly face is hard to come by. However, your business remains your own and time is constantly ticking by. Sure.
I am ready when you are, darling.
That's your companion. They help you out and just plain keep you company. You can swap them out back in your sanctuary, which implies you can have more than one. With Lux at your side, you head out once more. Ooh. There's stuff here. Stuff all around the place that I can't visit. Free clinic, Old Town, the bricks. Let's go to Old Town. The basking scene here is vicious. You have to clean the space early. Once prosperous marketplace, now abandoned by even most of its drug dealers. The air hangs heavy with the smell of rotting brick and overflowing sewers. Beggars shake tins at passers-by, hoping to scrounge coin for a bit or a bottle to keep them warm through the night. The few locals forced out this lake push past irritably, eyes sallow and fixed on their own problems. Handsome young man makes eye contact. This man has a look of a model and the apparent intelligence of a model trained. He enthusiastically pushes a purple piece of paper into your hand, advertising a nearby club. Nighthawks. That's the name of the game. The handsome man hurries off to another customer. He politely disposes of the flyer in the nearest bin. last nickel diner, Salvation Center, rose at midnight. I'm not like this time here, does it move on when it kind of does, right? The time changes when I click on something. You approach the store but discover that it's closed tonight. The window has been broken with a brick and hastily boarded up. Anti-vampire graffiti is already been plastered across it, including the ever-popular warning, "Dead is dead." It's 1 minute per click. I'm not sure if some clicks. Yeah, I wonder if the change matters. Yeah, I don't know. Hungry eyes watch you enter the Salvation Center, a threadbare boxing gym. Right. There might also be, and I bet knowing this company, knowing the devs, but there might be events that trigger only at certain times. Like between 9:30 and 10, you have to be somewhere or do something. Hungry eyes watch you enter the... But also, it is very possible that some clicks, some events, like if I line up for this, it's probably going to take longer than 1 minute, right? Volunteers splash highly watered-down blood into bowls for the ever-increasing homeless vampire population. Speak with the administrator. Tired-looking woman with a lab coat and clipboard looks up at your approach. She has a slightly terse buzz of a coffee addict, finding that there is only so much of it that you can drink before sleep demands its toll. Her badge reads Irene Velasco.
If you're here to donate blood, please inquire at the free clinic. Oh, wait. I see. Not a donor, are we? Well, I just hope you're not hoping for a bed.
You contact Dr. Irene Velasco. I'm not looking for a handout.
How admirable. Far too many come to this city thinking that the streets are paved with gold and the blood flows from every faucet.
Oh right, I am looking for this guy.
Yes, I know this man. He called himself Elliot Morgan, but that's definitely him. A strange one. He claimed to be here to volunteer, but spent most of his time bothering our guests.
What did he want from the vampires here?
I assumed that it was a sex thing, to be honest. He said something about needing a new master. Frankly, he was creeping out both our human and revenant guests with it all, so we told him his services wouldn't be required.
Where is he now?
I'm afraid not, but I did see a number of scars on his arm that I'd swear were needle marks. If I had to guess, I'd suggest the shooting gallery at St. Raphael's. Most addicts end up there.
Target shooting? Not target shooting, no, needle shooting.
The other kind of shooting. Needles, veins.
Velasco rarely switches into the extra professionalism of an expert offering their opinion on their specialist subject. Tell me about yourself.
I'm an oncologist at New City General
That's
with
a
a
time tick,
subspecialty in hematology. I never thought I'd be using it for anything like this.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Honestly, the scientific community is at something of a loss. Much of what we know of your kind is hard to explain without descending into magical talk. Perhaps magic will be our new science. That would be interesting.
The green goo of your new life there, pal. Resting will heal you up good and proper. I wonder what all these buttons mean, or because I was hovering over this. Earlier 2 of these buttons were lit up, now 4. Oh, this and this just tells me how many times I can use it. Okay. Never mind. Crater Bridge.
Cradle Bridge is a place in need of help it will not get from our elected officials. I do what I can, but it will never be enough. Not without support that can be touched and spent.
New City General.
Ever since St. Raphael's burned down, we've been running far above capacity. It's not the staff's fault, but I can't deny what people say. It's the perfect place if you want a few more diseases to add to your collection.
Nice. Technically, there are a couple others I haven't picked. Let's read them all.
It's not much, but we do what we can.
Hi, Emmy.
We
How are
get
you
some
doing?
blood from the city and others from voluntary donations at the free clinic. It is never enough. Unfortunately, the mayor's interest in
Hashtag
revenant
hobbies.
well-being begins and ends with a few insincere speeches to the press.
I'm good, thank you very much. We are playing a Vampire the Masquerade based visual novel. blood.
I don't think anyone knows why blood has the effect that it does upon vampire physiology. It complicates matters that animal blood cannot be used as a substitute. Only human blood suffices, and I shudder to think
Inspired, yes,
where
inspired.
it will be sourced if demand becomes any higher.
Okay, goodbye. The vampire in the boxing ring scowls at her current victim before delivering the kind of blow that would knock the average human down for the count. She wipes her brow as you approach, giving you a scathing once-over with her granite stare.
Ah,
Hey,
here
boxing,
for a
eh?
lesson. Grab yourself some boxing gloves and get up here. You'll survive. Probably.
New contact, Cersei Kane. You haven't been introduced?
Name's Saoirse. Kind of the
Saoirse?
closest to a
Okay.
welcome wagon you're getting.
Why would vampires need self-defense lessons?
Thing most folks forget is, if you were all soft in life, you're starting out just as soft in death. Too many baby vampires go out thinking immortal is the same as indestructible. Poor bastards.
I prefer to settle things with us. I wouldn't mind. So let's see how much the time changes. It is not the actual brand, no. It is just that kind of Vampire the Masquerade, World of Darkness, those kind of games inspired this one. It's a visual novel / partial adventure game, maybe. It's by a company called Watchet Eye Games, or it's published by a company called Watchet Eye Games, which developed a couple of other games that I like. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of pain. Handle myself, wouldn't mind practice. Let's see if this thing changes. Yes, they make all the point and click games, yes. Like Gemini Rue and Techno Babylon and Old Skies, I think. Or is it Old World? One or the other. Old Skies. I almost played it on stream actually. It came out a couple of months ago. And a bunch of other games. You wouldn't mind a bit of practice.
Come on then, try kicking my arse.
So this time, it started at 21:33. Now it's at 21:39. You unleash hell on the giant vampire, who takes every blow with ease and returns them with interest. By the time she declares the bout over, you are bruised and battered but still standing. Not many can claim that after a fight with
Not
Saoirse
bad.
Kane.
Got a few nicks there, mind. Should get yourself checked out by the doc over at St. Raph's. Plays rough, but knows his stuff.
Saoirse has gained some respect for you. Your brawler skills are improving. What is this? Where does this... So this, I'm guessing this little bit here is what we improve. Where do you see how much respect you have with someone? Is that a trackable thing? I don't think so, right? No, don't think so. How can you get better at fighting? Where do you learn to fight like this?
These scars. Old school, one by one. Earned them all the old-fashioned way. Snarling, bare-chested, and covered in sweat and blood back in the fighting pits of Dublin. Nothing better for teaching the beast inside you how to roar.
You fought bare-chested?
Can't go being a blushing damsel when you've 50 drunk bastards on all sides, all betting their weak salt on how many teeth you'll be leaving behind on the sand.
You know, if I chill us here though, can I not just exit this conversation?
Don't go
Because
getting
it's
any
costing
funny
minutes, right?
ideas. Been years since I had a fight worth taking half that serious. Besides, chilly as hell in this burg. You keep your vest on, and I'll keep mine.
What if you want to find a real fight?
Well, you just look around a bit. Maybe try over an angel breach for starters. Bit of a walk, mind, if you've not got the scratch for a taxi.
So this is a repeat, right? How do I actually leave the conversation? Or can I leave the conversation?
Same as everything. Practice.
No. Well,
Take your lumps. Not
maybe
much
it
can
wasn't-
deal you
maybe
out
it
for
wasn't a
good.
repeat.
That what can. Try not to get
This
in the
is
way
the
of.
rest of the game.
Fire, silver, anything like that. Just don't be stupid.
Take a moment to recover from injuries. Sparring does not cause you any serious harm. Oh, I got healed back all the way up. Ask about our current investigation. Searching for Elijah Morrow.
heard the king over at Nighthawks muttering about him a fair bit. Don't know why. Don't reckon I care too much either.
Okay. Nothing else. She has no reason to travel with you, but she could, is the implication in the future if she likes you enough, I guess. Enough questions. It's 9:50. Return to the street. 9:51. Let's skip the diner for now. 9:51 still, okay. So we should have unlocked the new place, right? We unlocked this place. Nighthawks, so this is the one. So we only had these 3 earlier, I think. We unlocked Nighthawks and we unlocked the hospital. This is the most soothing music, yes. Hi Kinji. Yeah, I can't visit the last nickel diner because I didn't take those nickels from the pocket. A rundown nightclub near the edge of town. It looks seedy and poorly maintained, but still has a decent line of people waiting to get in, or simply seeking shelter from the rain. An irritable bouncer lets them in at a slow but steady drip, checking for drugs and frequently pocketing small bribes from queue jumpers. And now that Kinji mentioned the music changed. Stand in line, you're likely waiting for half an hour. 9:56. It doesn't tell me what time the night ends. It's still mid-evening here. Hypnotize, bribe. Attempt to sneak in around the back. Sure. Hey, the bouncer sees you trying to sneak away down an alley next to the club. Back of the line, cold blood. He keeps his eyes locked on you as you walk back to the other impatient clubbers. So suspicion. We've gained suspicion twice. But where do I actually see my suspicion? What does that actually do? I don't see a suspicion counter anywhere. My thief skill was not very high though. I don't see a suspicion anywhere, so I'm not sure really how you track that or what it means. Well, vampires aren't secret, but you're... Is it one of those graphs on the HUD? Like, you mean down here? Like this thing? Maybe. Oh, here it is. We call that suspicion. Makes it harder to bullshit and maybe other problems. Get arrested with too much and your time in the city is done. The darker bit is infamy, the suspicion that lingers. So I guess the suspicion here is different. It's not like in Vampire or World of Darkness where when you suspicion between the suspicious of your vampire status. Here is suspicious of your criminal status, I guess, or your unsavoriness. Seems to work the same way, kind of, except they know. Like he called me a cold blood, right? So he knew that I was a vampire, but yeah, get too much in game ends. He back away. If I leave, just a moment, darling. I need to pull up some posters. Let's go to the hospital. Oh, that took quite a while to reach there. Is this an event? Wandering down a side street, you encounter a nervous-looking girl in tough street clothes that neither suit nor fit her. She seems to be trying to attract the attention of passing vampires, while few are around in this corner of Craterbridge. Occasionally, she stops to touch her fangs, clearly still uncomfortable with them. Very inconspicuous fangs here. The girl looks relieved as if she wants to throw herself in your arms. Eyes flicker nervously, never quite meeting your eyes.
Oh, thank God. I've been so alone since I got, since it happened. I'm new in this city and I really need to find a blood pact to join. Are you part of one already? It's, okay to say if you are.
Also, she has no fangs here. She has a fang. She has these weird, like, almost AI fangs. Except this game was made long before AI. But she has these weird pasted on fangs here. But not here. What does she mean by blood pact?
You don't know about blood pacts? It's like the law, isn't it? The secret, the secret empire of government gay.
We've never even heard of this secret government.
I mean, of course, nobody talks about it. They're not going to break the covenant of silence. That's the first precept of the sevenfold proclamations. The deacon would be furious.
Who is this deacon she mentioned?
You haven't even made exordium to the deacon? But what if the Fury's here? Oh, don't worry, he'll be merciful. Probably.
She grew up on a steady diet of World of Darkness. She grabs you by the arm. You don't seem to have much of a choice here. The girl quickly drags you down the street to a door behind a bookshop. Signals rare books. The door leads down into a red basement, moodily lit with flickering candles. Here she does have I guess she does have fangs here. It didn't look like she did in the first one, in the earlier portrait. The basement is laid out like a low-budget temple decorated with vampiric imagery and wall scrolls listing something called the Scarlet Ordinances. At the back sits a figure on a makeshift throne, one gold tooth glinting in the light. It beckons to you. The girl totters forward
Deacon
on
Mace.
heel.
Darkness, smile on you, Master.
On her ill-fitting heels, lost in awe. Follow her lead and show respect, sure.
Yes, I thought it would be your hand at work here. Meet Master Maze, darling. You old cockroach. It really hasn't been long enough.
Ah, Miss Lux. A quite indescribable stab in the genitalia to see you again, my dear.
You know each other then?
Oh my, yes. This corseted hypocrite has made her opinion of my games most clear.
Games, he says. Huh. An interesting word for tricking people out of their money.
And how much, might I ask, is a ticket to one of your little displays of sparkling honesty,
What's going on here?
Oh, it hardly matters. A little profitable mischief of no real harm, nothing more. Hazel, an educational note. Be more careful who you approach. Time is a poor resource to waste.
What's the deal with Hazel, really?
Ah, dear, darling Hazel. My thrall, if you pardon the expression. I thought this would be an interesting little test of wit, to find suitably pliable marks. Alas, you stand as evidence that she failed, rather miserably at that.
Does this sanguinate scam actually work?
Alas, it is one of my more successful little ruses since the tearing down of the veil. Shall I tell you a little secret about people? People long to be part of something, a greater story, to give their pain meaning. They crave it, and will drink down any insipid little falderal that dares make them feel special. A kindness, really.
So what happens now?
That, it would seem, rather depends on you. The precept of silence has done sterling work up in concealing the mischief until now. Alas, I fear that were you to spread the word of our little enterprise, I suspect it would be short-lived. Unless, of course, you would be interested in a little reciprocative benefit. 10%, say?
Yeah, grifter skills and even match for this, 20%.
My friend, you bargain like a Sicilian. Alas, professional courtesy forbids my agreeing to such impossible terms. 15%, I say. 15, a most generous number.
Sure, have fun scamming people around here. Thank you.
What an absolute pleasure to find another soul in this accursed city that can spot an opportunity when it presents itself. Let us shake hands and part with no hard feelings.
None at all. Hustles you out of his basement temple. As you emerge from the shop, hits the ring, you check the time. The encounter took longer than most, and evening is no longer as young. This lets you continue on your way to the hospital or go somewhere else. I don't have anywhere to go though that I know of. And I am going to the hospital to check up on the plot line, so continue. This reminds me of places I hid in after my rebirth. Slightly classier than some, in fact. Imposing barbed wire fences block off this condemned, burned out hospital. Many of the old wards are now rotting shooting galleries where heroin adult addicts sit and stare into space, rusted needles searching for usable veins. The main reception building is largely intact, but no more welcoming. approach the main hospital building. You approach the main building. Crackling music seeps from an old cassette deck, an unfamiliar tune. The guard by the door switches it off and gives you an unwelcoming stare. I'm here to see the doctor.
That goddamn freak. Hid away here for years, pretending to be normal. Fire put an end to that. Hard to pretend you're one of us after. You'll see. You'll find him down in the basement. Follow the screams.
Why are you guarding a burnout wreck?
Place burned down years ago, didn't it? Anything else? Ain't none of your business.
We're at a shooting gallery.
You mean the King's little wine cellar? It's back there. He's got his deal with Miss Riordan, of course. To stop your kind shitting where others eat. No unauthorized fangs, if you get me. He lets a few in now and then, though, so they can eat fresh without getting interrupted by the cops.
Who's the king?
Yeah, you know, Tancredi at Nighthawks. Runs this whole part of town. If he doesn't want you in, you're not getting in. Go speak to him if you're hungry.
The voiceover said you're not getting in, but the text says you're not getting there. I don't actually need to visit him, but let's visit him anyway. Lux is quite happy to wait behind while you visit the doctor after. You descend from the hospital grounds into the remnants of a basement, littered with rusted medical equipment and scorched with fire. Many screams cut through the air, only to be cut off and replaced with an echoing hum. Hello, doctor. Your stomach is open, ribs bent and twisted. Oh.
Now, don't be a big baby. Let's see a brave face. There we go. Nurse, forceps.
Oh, stop him. You grab the doctor's arm. He jumps in surprise, his hand full of black worms, oily and slithering. Hundreds more riff in his patient's stomach.
Rotworms. Nasty little things, but fascinating. They grow inside the stomach and feast on the delicious necrotic tissue. Over time, the flesh grows back, the little worms have little babies. Life. It always finds a way.
You did this to the woman? Patient stares at you over the wide-open ribcage. All the screaming has left her hoarse and her voice impossible to hear. She swallows hard, trying to make a gesture that as grisly as this scene is, she is grateful for the doctor's torturous ministrations. The doctor pats his patient down with a crusty old towel, leans down and plants an affectionate kiss on the exhausted forehead. As a final gesture, plural somehow, he digs a hand into her pocket and produces something, a cherry lollipop, coated with dust and lint. Pops it into the patient's mouth and wipes his hand on his bloody coat.
The true spirit of modern medicine.
So this is tainted blood. Ah. So he's trying to get rid of... I guess he's... Sorry. Sorry, Kinji. I hope you enjoy your dinner? Question mark. I hope it's spaghetti. Get to know Samuel better. Vampire medicine. Yourself.
Ah, you are curious. It's the hair, isn't it? Yes, it burned off during the fire. The rest of me too, come to think. The pain was worse for those first few years. Soon it may almost be tolerable.
Ho ho ho. Hospital?
Oh, I rather miss the hospital. My fangs were short enough that I could pass, aside from the occasional hilarious call for Dr. Acula.
Dr.
That was
Acula.
before the veil fell, of course. And the fire.
Dr. Acula. I thank you for the tentacle celebration? Question mark.
Most think
hope
that
you
our
enjoy your dinner.
kind can heal from anything in time, and yes, more or less. A lucky thing for the medical profession that there are still injuries that can use a little help from these healing hands. Fire, silver, they leave their marks more than most. As well, you see. You can pop a blister if you like.
No, thank you. How about...
Oh, that I could help. Alas, I fear I do not often get out. Often.
Okay, so he's not here. In fact, I have to come into here to find what's his face, to possibly find clues about Elijah, but he's not here. We have to go back here. I guess we can visit. So the estimated time, 32 minutes. Doesn't tell me what time I end though. I guess let's go here. And stand in line for half an hour. You reach the front of the line, the bouncer looks you up and down suspiciously. He gestures for you to spread your arms, ready to be patted down. As he finishes checking you, Lux narrows her eyes at his wandering hands.
Don't you lay anything on me that you're not willing to lose, darling.
You walk into the pumping music of the nightclub. How endearingly retro. I forget sometimes that I am an old lady by certain standards. Your feet stick to the carpet. Although this nightclub seems one of the few hotspots of Crater Bridge life, it can only be because of a lack of competition. Dance floor lightly throbs with action, or the bar seems quiet enough to have conversation. A bored-looking redhead alternates between serving drinks and flicking through a paperback book hidden underneath the counter. VIP lounge. Ducking under the velvet rope, you slip into the VIP lounge. It isn't much more luxurious than the rest of the club, with its musty old cushion and desperately outdated decor. Someone has at least dusted the place though. What clubber is here dancing? I need to find the guy, but he's not here, but maybe this will draw him out. You're about to begin the hunt when you realize that Lux is not following you. The reputation of the management here is enough for any vampire to watch themselves, and everyone knows it. Except the not so subtle warning. Visit the bar? Very nice. Oh, now it changes and now I have to actually click on someone. So this is kind of, this specific scene is kind of a, it feels like more of an adventure game. Point and click. Hi.
Hey, stranger. I'm Becca. What'll it be? Beer, whiskey, a little champagne to get the night started, right? Wait, sorry. My bad. The special wine, yeah?
Talk her into giving you one on the house. Sure.
Oof. Someone needs to practice their shtick. Here. But don't think it's your sparkling wit. I just have a soft spot for strays.
Becca reaches for a glass. Your throat burns at the sight of it. My blood is full though, so I'm actually fine. Rebecca pours you a fresh warm blood. Fresh warm blood. Thick, red, and heavily watered down by vodka that no longer has any effect on you, but adds a little kick to the otherwise flat metallic experience. Finish your blood. Yeah, in this case it's actually correct, I think.
Not to be nosy or anything, but what's it like? Drinking blood, I mean.
Oh, I don't like the taste.
Yeah, lots of folks say that. Most of our regulars like to mix in a little cinnamon. Something about handling the iron aftertaste. Anyway.
Oh, I can ask about this guy. Even as you ask the question, you see Becca's eyes drift slightly. She seems to be looking over your shoulder with mild interest rather than fear.
Oh, I think you'll find out soon enough.
Large, heavy hand clamps down on you, a gorilla in a suit with a stern invitation. The dance music fades as you are led down concrete steps into the basement, where a single bare bulb lights little but rusting nightclub equipment, and no shortage of black mold in damp corners. There you are led into an office without windows, where a fat vampire sits, smoking an even fatter cigar, and flicking through a positively obese roll of money. He gestures for you to be seated.
This the one? Let me guess. You're new around here. Gotta be poking around without even coming to introduce yourself. What's the world coming to, huh?
Introduce yourself politely.
Well, will you look at that? Finally a baby vampire with a sense of propriety.
The fat vampire takes a long chew on his cigar, gives you a careful look up and down. The king of Crater Bridge pours himself a whiskey glass of blood from a crystal decanter, not offering you one. He sips it and sits back.
Listen to me, baby vampire. Name's Tancredi. And this here is my territory. Mine. You'll remember that if you want to keep feeding here. There's worse shit than death. Trust me on that one. Now, before we go any further, gotta ask, got any special tricks?
Sure, I have cop stalking. I can talk to you even after you're dead.
Ha, now that's a thing. Of course, I don't need to remind you. Stuff like that, it's just a fantasy for the papers. Don't make it anything more.
He grunts, apparently satisfied.
Anyways, from what I hear, you've been poking your nose around this last week or so. Let's have it then. What's your business in my kingdom? Think very carefully before you try any bullshit.
I'm looking for a man named Elijah Morrow. We haven't been doing much cop talking exactly.
Morrow, huh? Dangerous name to be dropping around here, baby vampire. A whole lot of people are looking for that piece of shit, including yours truly. Big reward on that head. Real big.
I probably should not pick the last option because he probably wants to hurt him badly, but maybe I will anyway. I plan to hurt him badly.
Well, you better be ready to join the line. Speaking of, Gideon, get this cold blood a pass. No sense having him waste time with the plebes when there's so much work to get done.
I don't work for you yet.
Indeed, many people believe that at first. They soon learn to dread the coming of winter and the chill of bones that never healed properly. Yes, you think yourself invulnerable as well as immortal. Spare me the naive bravado.
Gideon gestures for you to follow him back upstairs. You are led upstairs through a small maze of unpainted concrete corridors and cheap wooden doors to a rather small office upstairs. The smells of dust and cheap cologne, an ancient computer on the desk, is cheap grey plastic long-term nicotine yellow. The manager takes his seat.
Right. This pass will get you past the queues. Don't lose it. I am Gideon Jenks, the King's Seneschal. I handle his business, including the tribute expected for hunting within the domain. You will, of course, be expected to pay, through service, if needed.
New contact, Gideon Jenks. What does he want from you?
Ah, the correct question. Splendid. Nothing too onerous, I assure you. A little contribution to the greater good in exchange for, let us call it, protection from misfortune. Insurance.
But you didn't actually tell me what you wanted, or what he wanted. What does he know about Elijah Morrow?
I am aware that the king is most eager to find the gentleman in question. The reasons are not, I would suggest, any of your concern.
Something scuttles across Gideon's desk. The spider is large, black, and fearless. So in most of the games so far, they've used Oxford commas. So when it's A, B, and C, they put A, comma, B, comma, and C. This one, they missed it for some reason. Gideon stops scribbling in his ledger for a moment. His eyes flick down and a bead of sweat rolls across his forehead. It scuttles over his hand, his 8 hairy legs brushing against his skin. He sits stock still, staring at it. Something glistens against his chin. Saliva is slowly drooling. He stares at the spider. Change your writing styles over 7 years. Before he can do anything, his hand shoots out, scooping up the spider and cramming it into his mouth. He swallows it whole and shivers in what could be revulsion, but looks more like a junkie getting a fix. The clock at the back of his office ticks, marking the awkward silence. With trembling hands, he reaches for a cup of coffee, not just cold but with a skin on it. 3 different versions of the same thing. What the hell is that? Gideon is silent for a moment, checks that the door is closed and locks it before returning to his desk. There he takes a long moment to study your face before speaking any further.
I suppose there's no hiding it. They call it the Renfield compulsion, a side effect of... suffice to say that the king and I have a certain arrangement that I would keep private.
No, you're familiar?
One of the more polite terms, unfortunately. I trust I can rely on your discretion.
What do you get out of keeping your secret? He stares at you, trying to hide his concern. Trolls, vessels, familiars, swiggers, bloodchuckers, traitors. There are no good names for humans who transfuse vampire blood with their veins.
In the circumstances, perhaps we can shelve the question of our tax tribute. For now. Provided that the new understanding continues, of course.
So he's a human. He was a human. He buries his head in his letters. Okay, but we never finished our conversation. Why are you up here?
You survived the boss then.
I did.
Guess that means we'll be seeing more of you around here. Feel free to tip your bartender.
Just you remember, the house takes 20%.
So, you know, feel free to tip generously. Sorry, I don't know the face. My bet? Try down in Old Town. Folks who get lost around here usually end up there. The lucky ones, anyway.
Recent rumor.
Heard a few folks talking about some guy called Dr. Finch over at St. Raphael's who specializes in treating vampires. Thing is, St. Raphael's burned down a few years ago.
It happens. Becca gives a glass of special treatment, spitting it twice before wiping it out. Tell me about yourself.
Me? I'm Rebecca. Becca to friends. Becky, if you want me to hurt you. Just your average ex-student buried in debt. Luckily, the boss's shiny fangs tend to scare off new staff pretty quick, so yeah, plenty of extra shifts for Becca.
Nice. Nighthawks.
For Cradle Bridge, it's a pretty high-class kind of dive. Don't need a big metal grill in front of the bar. We've got a few regulars drink here by choice, and it's probably only one of them that keeps shitting in the sink. Who knows, maybe one day we'll even get uniforms that fit.
Yeah, I can see that. Gideon Chang.
Honestly, I don't know him that well. He comes by every now and again to check everything's okay and collect money from the register, but the rest of the time he just hides out in his office.
Collect the money. The voice skip that word. Sam.
Well, he's standing right there. What, are you trying to get me fired or something?
Don't let me stop you flattering me, sweetheart.
I plead the fifth.
Vampires.
Oh, I see plenty. Don't worry, I'm cool with it. I mean, I always kind of suspected you folks are around, even before everyone knew for real. Most of the revs I know are okay, just like most folks really. But the others, hey, that's why I've got a pepper spray loaded with silver.
Yep. Nothing else. Goodbye. What about you? Madame Lux sits on a usual stool, shuffling cards, holding one up in her fingers, and sipping from a cocktail glass of newly poured blood. Her foot taps to the nightclub beat. Occasionally, she even hums along.
Ask whatever you like, and I'll tell you whatever I choose. A lady must keep some secrets,
Yourself.
What you see is what you get, darling. I bring magic into people's lives and reap the reward of their delight. Alas, in life, I was mostly consigned to the role of assistant, to smile and be stabbed and vanished and sawn in half. No more. The night is my stage now, and someone else can wear the glittering panties.
This thing on the wall behind here kind of looks like an eye staring at us, right? An eyelid. But this is the pupil of the eye. The sleepless
It's hardly the Monte Carlo, but it has its charm. I'd avoid the upper floors. The management runs a seedy little brothel up there, and the girls, well, I hear even those who are here legally haven't seen their passports in a while. Of course, they don't, host cold bloods upstairs. It's almost as if we can't be trusted.
Oh, the text there was very different from the voiceover. It means a whole bunch of words here and down here. Magic.
Are you asking if I use my other talents in the name of the art? Absolutely not. To put a spin on an old trick, perhaps, but never to cheat.
That's good. You know anything about Elijah Morrow?
I will, of course, do all I can to help you find your friend, but I doubt it will be much.
Okay. Bye. Exit. Wait, who are you? Who are you? No one else. Bye. It would be something if some of these things are clickable, but I had no idea up until now. But that doesn't seem to be the case right now. Leave the club. Oh, so this is as far as I get, I guess. Leave the club and check your phone. Vampires have to be very careful to keep their eye on the time, and tonight it feels like you have been out long enough not to push a lot further. So which means we will not be able to get back to the other place again. Rain beats down on the windscreen as the taxi threads its way back to the Halcyon Hotel, and what currently passes for home. You stare out the window as the city blurs past, reflecting on the night and the many nights ahead of you. It's a new world out there, filled with stories, danger, and opportunities. A new world where outcasts can thrive, and where death truly is just the beginning. But that will wait. We'll have to wait just a bit longer. Sunrise approaches and your cheap hotel bed calls on you. It's only 1:24 a.m. though. Isn't that a bit early for sunrise? Thank you for playing the Nighthawks demo. We hope you enjoyed your brief trip to the city and that we'll be seeing you again for the full adventure. Wishlist us on Steam, follow us in your social network of choice, and perhaps consider starting over again with a different sire choice. You never know who might be waiting to greet you, and you can skip the prologue chapter next time. Hey, well, I already kick-started the game, so wishlisting it again seems kind of redundant. Back to the main menu. There's a bartender. Okay. So that was Nighthawks Night 1, and I guess the I do like the ambience and the story exploration. I do I guess it's neat that you have a clock that kind of limits what you can do, and every action you do takes a little bit of time. Although sometimes you can't really tell how much time an action takes, but that's what the save and load thing is for. I also thought the night ended a bit early. At 1:25 a.m. is really early, considering that as vampires you wouldn't be able to do much during the day anyway. So you would think that you would sleep from like 5 a.m. to like noon or something. 1 a.m. taking a cab back to your apartment at 1:25 a.m. seems very early. But yeah, there's some weird awkward parts that you need to wrinkle out still. That means it's like smoothen out still. And other parts that are pretty great. We did not get to use cops walking as much as I hoped, and cops talking, I guess. That was kind of a disappointment. But we also didn't visit. There were several places that we didn't actually visit as well, right? What happens if I do this? Oh, it just loads whatever the last save was. Yeah, there was that area in the southwest corner that we never visited. We never got to the underground section of the hospital, the burnt down hospital. There were a couple of scenes here and there that I skipped due to time, like due to like the in-game time. And yeah, who knows what else. Okay, that was our playthrough of the Nighthawks Night 1 demo.